action. This, the Battle of Europe, and as I said, hardpoint underway.
All right, let's get into it. Splyce set up in the first hardpoint. Millennium looking to break. A big series for both of these squads.
And again, the spawn that Splyce wanted to have towards that rock side, they get. They've started off with a 20-second lead, as you'd expect when pushing from that lower tunnel area. The big question is, as always, can they flip for these spawns and turbine? And it looks like right now, Madcat, he's got his hands full here with Marky B. He's got him one shot. I think he should challenge this, and that's exactly what he'll do. A flawless start for Splyce.
Perfect. I mean, that little bit where Marky over-peeked kind of to the left side gave the opening to Madcat, and he completely took advantage of it, tagging him very, very low. Zero now in support. But the break going to come through. Now look at that number 2 in the minimap. That's going to be Jerd. Jerd actually has a chance to play spoiler and get a nice wall. They've spotted him, but look at it. He turns all the heads. Everyone now has to focus on him and come back for the kill. Can Zero and company hold behind him? They do. That's great. What an annoyance he was there. Just set up an observation deck.
And yeah, he's still just buying his team time. They're going to hold off their inside warehouse push. This is all you could ask for if you're a Splyce fan. I mean, look at already who's starting up in this game. Bance on a 4 streak. Madcat on a 4 streak. Zero now double positive on a 3 streak. They're outslaying by 10+ kills already, and we're just 1 hill in.
Yeah, you got to assume the respawns are going to be very tough for Millennium against this Splyce team. Granted, it's very, very early, but signs are not looking good. Jerd,
my gosh.
Nice little flick there with the E-Raz. He finishes it for the 2-piece. They'll wrap up the final 10 seconds here at Turbine. Jack, let's get the hanger.
This, for me, is going to set the tone for how this map's going to go. Do Millennium get smoked on this rotation, or do they actually hold? It looks like for now they will hold. As now there's Zero all the way in the back of the map trying to play these spawns. He snaps right on a Moose to stay alive. 89-15, and Splyce are all here. It's 3 dead on Millennium. Make it 4 now with Marky B. There it is. Another rotation won by Splyce.
Vance yet to die. You see Zero snapping like we're used to seeing him do. This is when Splyce gets terrifying. And I know yesterday they looked vulnerable. Very, very strong start here. We'll see what streaks that Vance can pick up. He's one more for the bombardment. Not able to find it, but his teammates there. They line up everybody. Moose, the lone remaining man. Zero rotating over. They should be able to clear it out.
They hold the push again because of the close spawns. 110-17. There's honestly no end in sight. You've got 3 players double to triple negative on Millennium. Moose, 1 death off being double negative as well. This is finally the Splyce that you've been wondering where it's going to be, and it's showing up now against Millennium.
It's about time.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't maybe the toughest matchup for them, but if they make this look easy, and one thing that's worth mentioning, when these guys got drawn, remember they were having the EU LAN, there were 6 teams going to it. They were frustrated when they got in the same pool because they weren't able to scrim against each other leading into this, right? You don't want to give away strats. You don't want to spend too much time playing each other. And I don't know if that held true, actually. I don't know if they didn't play each other at all, but I have to assume they weren't able to really see each other too much. But if you're in that same house, you're playing, maybe the ability to at least watch what the other's doing in some of those matchups?
I think they definitely had their fair share of watching between how these guys like to play. Right now, it's as simple as just getting kills versus not getting kills between Splyce and Millennium. Millennium, you still have 3 players double negative. Marky B trying to do what he can. He's leading and slaying at 7 kills when everyone on the other team is 10+.
Remember Marky B now running kind of main NV4 role for this Millennium squad. Quicker, the new addition after removing Nolson from the roster. Quicker, a very strong player from Europe. Maybe the difference that this team needed.
Jesus.
Not the difference they needed in this game 1.
23 kills the difference on the first set of hills. And with that, it's a 2-minute lead already for Splyce. I can't stress it enough. Like, oh my God, Madcat is beaming. 15-4.
Back and forth we go. I think Madcat did drop before he was able to pick up any kind of streaks. That might not be true for Jerd, though, who's 175 now off the Trinity rocket. Millennium all coming off a spawn. We could say that quite a few times so far.
Every person we switch to seems like they're in the right position to get kills. Like even now, look at the pinch coming in from Madcat on the minimap. They're going to have 3 one-shot players here. It's going to be all yellow in the kill feed again.
They didn't have to kill them all. Marky B helped them out as the Scarab tagged everybody up. Just about to break the 200-point mark. Did they get almost a full 60 here on bridge?
Yep.
That shouldn't happen.
Oh, but they're looking for more. Jerd FTL's passed. He's got 2 players there. 195-38. I mean, this is just a slaughter.
Madcat, I mean, I don't know that you need to pick out a standout performer, but he is more than triple positive at 17-5, nearly a minute in the hard point as well. But this was just a thrashing. I mean, not close at any point was this game.
Hey, you know what? This is just nice to Splyce. They're trying to get this area back on track time-wise, you know? Well, they realize they had a little bit of a delay. They'll say, hey, we'll finish the hard point in 4 minutes' time.
the thing that stood out, and I know we're going back months and months when Nolson was still on the team, but Millennium used to at least play everyone tough in hardpoint, right? Like they'd break the 200-point mark, lots of close games. They threw a ton of games as well. I don't know that I've seen them get beat up this badly.
Yeah. Now Millennium just trying to fight for whatever time they can here on the Turbine Hill. I think they will get the rest of it. Nice job by them. So they're bringing it back a little bit. Back down to just a 2-minute lead for Splyce. A streak there burned as well from our yellow team. Marky B going to be the furthest pushed up for Millennium. He's got his hands full here with 3 Splyce players waiting inside the new hill.
And you don't think it ends here unless you get a near-perfect hold from Splyce. You're going to get several cracks at this from Millennium since you were able to get through on Turbine. They're waiting for the 4-man push. A couple hitting rocks. First player dies to Mad Cat. Several pushing in through low. Are Marky B and company able to break through for the moment. Nice job. What they hit through rocks, one died. They hit through lower. They hit to the top side. It was kind of like a 3-pronged attack.
Yep. And
it gets through flawlessly. I don't want to call it a comeback yet, but if they do pick up these remaining 40 seconds, might start considering it one.
Listen, even if they lose this map, at least they've started to show up a little bit.
Very
right?
true, very true.
Already this has been night and day from the first set of rotations to this one now. You would say that they've outscored Splyce in the second rotation, I believe, like 80-40 so far. So definitely showing up here to at least put up a performance in game 1.
Well, 20 seconds left. They're still good, holding the front line. Petey searching below to see what he's able to locate. One out front that's weak. Nice communication between the teammates. And now we talked about the streaks for Splyce. Petey has a chance to pick him up. Maybe Marky B soon in that conversation. You get fully streaked out. I just talked about how usually they play hardpoint stuff. That'd be crazy. What was it? At its worst, 250 basically?
Yeah. And they still have bodies here. A team kill from Jerd. The pinch coming in from Mad Cat. It's going to be a 3-on-1 in gunfights. Mad Cat's still trying to charge forward. He's dead. Thankfully, Trinity's now coming in for Splyce. It does nothing again. A second burn streak. A second burn streak. They still have 3 men here. They're going to hold this push again.
They keep on holding. Remember, you got the Trinity rocket picked up from Petey. So you still have a little bit of utility for Millennium. What streaks do you have left for Splyce? I mean, surely they've got 1 or 2 remaining. I know they burned a couple, but do they have anything left is my question. I don't think they do, actually.
They finally started watching their back. It's incredible what you do when you don't get shot in the back half the damn time in 2-piece. It's been a 12-kill swing from -27 now to just -15, and Millennium have swung this game by 90 seconds.
Let's go, Marky B! They're getting back in the swing of things. It's not over yet. Splyce just need 30 points. Millennium trying to mount one of the most incredible comebacks we have seen in the entire 2017 CWL season. Petey's here. Petey can't snap and finish off a bench. But my God, can this actually happen? Bridge is where Splyce completely dominated the last time through. Looking good for them to close it out here.
Yeah, Mad Cat's playing with such confidence, just keeps pushing out these lanes. Petey should be dead here momentarily with this challenge from Jerd. Maybe not. As he turns and burns on him, 241 to 162. Millennium need a flawless hold in top middle, and then they need to rotate perfectly.
It's almost like I kind of wonder if you're Millennium, is it more painful to just lose 250 to 50 and get on to the next map, or is it worse if you get this to like 250, 240 and you lose in a heartbreaking manner?
I mean, just look at how large the lead was for Splyce, is that they're still up by a minute, and Millennium have outplayed them now for 5 straight hills.
It's true. It's very true.
They've got to get this hill. They can't play around just contesting.
Okay, well, you do have the spawn at the next hardpoint for Splyce. Remember, Petey does have a Trinity. Oh, he actually used the Trinity rocket, so he does have Centurion if they can get the flip. A break here, and we really have ourselves a ball game, but that is probably it. The team kill with the Scarab. Everybody spawning out in rocks. Marky B the only one here. 250, 189. Splyce take what became a nerve-wracking game 1.
Did Splyce just use a black and white printer on those jerseys they're wearing? I actually thought that something was wrong with the camera for a second. Look, it's the same jersey, just all of them are wearing straight up black and white.
Well, Splyce take map number 1. Nicely done. Millennium did have a little bit of a spell there where it looked as if maybe a comeback was possible. Of course, this a Group G matchup, and the other game going on in Group G, of course, is that Ghost versus Team Caliber matchup. As I said, that one going on over on the Bravo stream. If you do want to watch that one exclusively, you can hop over there and tune in. But in terms of Splyce, still some shaky moments, it feels like, Deep.
But overall, they had such a solid start to that one. Mad Cat just popping 3-piece after 3-piece. It seemed like the ERAD pressure from Splyce just way too strong. Millennium, though, they did a good job. Petey's been probably their most consistent player besides Moose throughout the year, so he did a good job of getting on a little streak there.
Well, I guess I would like to hear your opinion kind of on the question I asked. Like, would it been Would it have been better to just lose 250 to 50 and get into map 2 and just kind of brush it off, or does that little bit of a comeback and making it a game help a lot for your team?
I don't know if that's going to be personal preference or what exactly, but I prefer a game where you have, more chance to warm up your shot, just more minutes of gameplay overall.
Sure, that makes sense.
Here's the round 11 between TK and Ghost we missed earlier.
We pulled away from it, but kind of, as I said, it is on that Bravo stream, but here is what you missed.
We've got 4 streams, baby.
That was a blind camo.
It was.
And he barely got that kill as that camo ran out. That was scary.
Very scary indeed, but it looks good for TK to take this round 11. Of course, as I said, this is the other game going on in that group. It was Ghost Gaming 1-0 up. They did win the hardpoint. And TK, they tied up 6-5, so nicely done from Team Caliber. The other batch of games, of course, they're the Group H games. That consists of Cloud9 versus MRN. I can confirm Cloud9 3-0. That wasn't pretty. I'm not even going to bother with a replay of that one. E6 versus Rogue, however, that is the other game going on. Rogue won the first hardpoint. E6 won the Search and Destroy and the Link. And we can go to a live look-in now on Station 3 because guess what, boys? This one is unbelievably close. Rogue apparently are a very, very good hardpoint team now. 186 to 181 in their favor, team. This could force a game 5. E6, this could be dangerous.
And that uplink was absolutely insane. E6 clutched up. Rogue really threw it away. So this game, it could be game point for Rogue. Right now it's game point for Enigma 6. Down to the wire in this one. Looks like E6 barely able to take the lead. They do have initial cell block control, but Goddard just gets a 2-piece.
Proto has a Trinity Rocket and camo. But he's going to have, 4 players pushing him here. I think he has a little bit of help now coming over the wall run, but he's got to go massive for his team. First engagement, shot's a little bit shaky. Can't win it.
No, they're playing for their tournament life right now. I want to make sure that's stressed to everybody at home. With that Cloud9 victory, Cloud9 are now 2-0. If Enigma 6 win this map right here, they're at 2-0, and we know our 2 teams from Group H. Rogue,
you're so smart, Jack.
Depends on this. Hey, I'm going to be the guy that is in the movies that asks the questions for the viewers to feel peace of mind. Basically, it's simple. E6 win this map, they're into the bracket stage.
You're like a potato
The only question, of course, at that point is it number 1 or is it number 2 seed?
Yes.
Where do you fall into the bracket? We'll find that out later on when
and that's
the final match
huge.
of the
We can't push that anymore.
Oh, dude, that is so
I know we
important.
haven't got to the point where we're really discussing 1 versus 2 seed a ton, but my God, some of the matchups is so much more favorable for teams depending on where you land.
Proto just burns camo for 20 seconds to scrap time. If they aren't able to hold and win this rotation, I just don't know if I'd agree with that one. They have initial control. I'm not sure if there's any streaks. I think Proto has a Trinity in the back pocket, so maybe that's why he called it there.
And to that point, that's a couple of times, the past couple of events, we've seen Proto pop camo in very, very interesting, I guess is the polite way of saying it, or just downright bad situations. But E6 look good to be able to hold this one for at least a moment. Rogue probably have time for one final push if they want to try and break it. And to Jack's point, Rogue's tournament life is now well and truly on the line. They need to break this hill if they want to make it to the bracket stages. The kills coming in their favor as well, but still Enigma 6 getting the time on the hill.
He didn't land it in the window.
Why did he go spiraled with it, though?
Proto's the last one here. Proto, can he do it all? 3 players swarming him. Finally does drop with 10 seconds left. They have it too. They do have the spawns. It's going to be Johnny, I think, already set up in commissary. You're spawning the worst possible spawn you could have for Enigma 6.
That was a brutal spawn. Wow.
Oh my God. Rogue can absolutely do this.
Here's the big thing. You have royalty with reactive
Drop
armor.
this down. Yeah.
Does he mess it up? Does he actually hit it quite well?
Is Panda got his as well? I can't tell because of the yellow.
Yes,
I think he does.
He has camo.
I think he has camo, right?
Yeah, he's camo.
Oh,
So it's a winnable game.
Royalty's going to use this. He's going to use the payload right now in the pinch. We're not watching his perspective, but right now they're going to wind up pushing on through. Camo being popped. They're doing everything they can. Royalty and crew, they're in.
Wow.
He's done it. That's going to be it.
Nice
GG. Enigma 6 just knocked out Rogue.
Nicely played, E6 with that 3-1 win, but I can tell you this, that was a series which was much closer than arguably it should have been. E6, though, will progress through to the bracket stages, as will, of course, Cloud9. You can see the Station 4 matchup, which is coming up next, Envious versus Project Evil. Of course, that was Cloud9 versus MRN previously, which was a 3-0 victory in favor of Cloud9. But we can now go back to Station 1, where Splyce versus Millennium is underway. And it's Search and Destroy Map 2. Splyce leading the series 1-0.
Well, Jack, let's get right back into the action here. I believe it's a 2-0 lead for Splyce over Millennium. If you missed the game 1, Splyce dominated for the first 5 or so minutes. Millennium tried to fight back, but fell just a little bit short. Now as they're trailing in the S&D, they're going to have to come back in a similar fashion.
Oh, he just got a ton of information for his team. Mad Cat will retreat right away He's got one of the best shots in Europe, but guess what? When there's 4 people ready to shoot back at you, you do not want to challenge that gunfight. And because he spots all this, look at how fast this pinch can come in from Splyce. They're going to try to flank before anything but Moose is ready for it.
Yeah, and they didn't hit that together at all. I mean, there was no trade opportunity, and that's one of the strongest positions in the game when you talk about hardpoint or any game mode. Easy pickings for Moose. Now going to be a 2 versus 3 for Splyce. Man down. Going to have to fight from behind in this round. Both players by Spiral decided they want to take this through the back tank. You can see on the minimap all those purple arrows stacked up around Lab and into Graveyard. It's planted for them as well. We'll see if Splyce can break through.
Splyce trying to push on in. You've got Jerd here. Now dead. Millennium win the round as they wind up clutching it on up.
I mean, that's a round you should be winning, certainly. 3v2, bomb down, bomb planted for your side. You know how difficult it is to, well, break through Spiral if you have a team that is actually looking at Spiral. We've seen that be a weak spot in many a setup. Millennium, this has got to be must-win territory here in this game, too.
I was on my phone for a second. I'm getting people tweeting me their ticket confirmations. They're seeing this weekend start. They're saying, I got to get down to the damn Amway Center myself. I'm saying, send me your confirmations on Twitter. I'm getting all excited. Get here. If you're in the area, if you have relatives that live here, just live on their couch this weekend. Come down to Champs. The stage behind us is going to be something to see this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Bring suntan lotion, maybe one of those spritzer bottles.
That's for Maven, not for you.
Yes. Oh no. Oh yeah. Not for you at all. Just
trust me.
Deliver those to me at the casting desk.
See, that's big. He whiffs the first cluster, and now because of that, he can stay alive. But Marky Beast comes in to save the day.
3v3. Mad Cat holding the edge. Nice win there. Second one comes. Keep on feeding the cat. Fourth at the back tank. 3v1 advantage for Splyce.
3v1 advantage. Moose all by himself. And yeah, look, he's just trying to hightail it away. He's been spotted.
Give him the ace.
And expect him to jump off the map here momentarily. There he goes.
Fleeing from the cat. I think a moose would probably win that fight.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't know what cats you've had in your life, but
seen some strong cats. I mean, cat could be a panther. Cat could be a lion, Jack. No one sets a house cat.
Okay, see? That's my fault. Actually, I apologize for assuming that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Here we go. 3-1 lead for Splyce. Offense now to Millennium. I'm just picturing a moose and a lion fighting. God.
While you do that, I'll call the round.
Thank you.
Quicker's got the bomb. He's going to try to shoulder peek this corner. You can see with X-Ray. Player just around the side with Splyce. He doesn't get hit by that nade, so they still don't know he's here. Now that'll give it away. As here comes the pinch, Millennium should collapse on this and win this with ease. Yeah, Splyce just play that so passively. They give up middle map control, and because of it, Millennium are able to flood right through showers and get three free kills.
We have seen Zero do some crazy things. He does not have a chance in this round.
The Zero goes fleeing from the cat. I don't know what. The Zero runs from the positive numbers.
Oh, we're done. We're done. We got to be done with that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Nice round. Win there for Moose and Company. A sloppy round. Well,
it's not that it was sloppy. It was just that it was a setup from Splyce that's just not going to work. The reason why LG can triple stack showers is because they have Octane in middle calling when the pinch is coming in, and thus LG can have Saints, rotate and look towards that area and be ready to have gun up. There, they don't have that, and because of it, Millennium just waltz on in and get 3 free kills.
Can we hop over to somebody at mid-map, just because, yeah, I was about to say, there are a lot of players stacked here. I thought there was going to be a gunfight right at loading. There it is. Zero tags him up, but he has to back down. Everybody drops very quickly. The 2 that pushed into showers for Millennium got dropped. Marky B does have FTL. He catches him, makes the play. Can he get away with his life? They're going to try and hunt him down. Nice job looking behind you. Hopefully he got far back enough with the thrust. He did. He cleared it quite significantly. 2v1 for Splyce. I mean, I know Marky B has FTL. You wish he'd have maybe a stronger tool in this scenario, but certainly gives him maybe more of a chance to get a kill and get away.
I'm wondering if he gets a good timing here.
Well, he just got a very good timing on the bomb planter. He might get another very good. He didn't see him. Oh, he did. He did. He spotted him. Wins the first, but right as that happens, the second hits through Spiral. Splyce take the round.
Nice job by Splyce to clean that up. Did Mad Cat get the final kill? That's what I'm wondering. Yes, he did. So Mad Cat should have that Centurion payload. Moving forward, it can use that to either help secure a lane, watch a flank, plant the bomb and use it as cover. Remember, when you do use that Centurion, it gives you basically a trophy defense system on steroids that blocks out grenades coming on in.
4-2 Splyce. Incredible game from Mad Cat. He was stellar in game 1.
Yep.
Now a 9-3 performance. We actually mentioned him being triple positive in the game 1 at one point. Now triple positive here.
And how perfect is this? Spots everything. He'll run away. The Centurion is now there as extra defense. It'll give him hit markers when they try to push on up. They know it's there, and Millennium right now sitting there going, should we rotate back? I'm wondering if they make a move back towards their spawn.
I mean, if that's the... Okay, they're just going to plan for the backside. No one's
never
looking at
gonna
viral. Jerd comes up, 2 kills to Splyce. Moose, though, answering back quickly, turns into a 2 versus 2. What can PD do? Just trying to spot the Splyce players.
Moose and PD holding the line. Mad Cat with the trade. 1 versus 1 camo popped it. And I love that. Absolutely love it from Splyce. It's why you have those payloads. Win that swing round. You're now up 5-2. You've got rounds to work with. No hesitation from Vance. The man showing up big time here at Champs.
And in the kill cam you saw, he got vision over the top. He knew right where the player was, obviously, from communication from his teammate as well. Yeah, pop it. Win the round. Secure the round. Get it done with. You need one more.
And even if it goes all the way to round 11, you have a chance to earn it a second time.
Yeah.
If you have some great rounds, some big numbers. Obviously doubt that would happen, but you know what?
We've seen it. We've absolutely seen it. All right, Splyce ended here on their offensive round. For those of you maybe not familiar with this matchup, Splyce certainly the heavy favorite, considered the best team in Europe. Millennium has fallen from a T1 to a T2 to maybe even a T3 European team as they've kind of collapsed throughout the course of the year.
Some cheeky grenades there from Quicker. Splyce have taken control of Showers. They've got their flank watched. Vance now follows it up as well. It's Moose and Quicker again left in a 2 versus 4 scenario, and that should do it right here.
Unless Quicker is some sort of god.
Splyce close it on out. They're now up 2-0 as they're in full command of this series versus their European brethren in Millennium.
Well, Splyce doing a good job of getting Station 1 back on track, that's for sure. Some pretty quick games, 6-2 the victory there. Millennium definitely struggling in this series. Of course, it's a battle of European squads, and Splyce making it look relatively simple. Of course, this is a Group G matchup, and in terms of that group, we were kind of hypothesizing a little bit earlier on, you know, this could be one of those groups where you have a lot of teams at 1-1, but right now, maybe it doesn't look to be the case.
No, I think we talked about what G and H, and that flipped on its head quickly. All the theorizing we were doing after that first Rogue win, and then talking about here with Ghost and TK, a close series, that was going back and forth. But no, it seems like Splyce and Ghost are kind of taking control right now, and I hope that Millennium would play Splyce a little bit tougher. Right. It doesn't appear that they're going to.
Obviously, in terms of that other matchup of the group, the Ghost versus Team Caliber matchup, we can obviously take a quick look at how map number 3 ended. When we left, obviously, TK had just won that round 11 in Search and Destroy, and we're thinking, all right, TK making a little bit of a move. And bear in mind that hardpoint as well, if you go back, cast your memory back, that was a map TK probably could have won. Should have, could have. It was very, very close. At what, 250, 242. They kind of threw it away a little bit. Here is the closing moments of the Uplink. You see Ghost Gaming up 7-2, and this one, I think it ends ultimately 7-3.
It's one of those games, you know, Mox is a player that we've seen has potential to take over in a respawn. Just significantly outslay everyone else in the lobby. And I think this is what you're seeing. I know we didn't watch the entire game, but he's a 33-21, 10 more kills than anybody else.
Right.
He's got so much talent, he can take over a respawn.
You can assume he was playing pretty well. So Ghost lead that series now 2-1. Of course, Splyce versus Mill still underway. The other batches of games that we were seeing was, of course, Group H. It was E6 versus Rogue. It was Cloud9 versus MRN. I updated you earlier on Cloud9 with a very, very simple dispatch over MRN, 3-0 done and dusted. Enigma 6 as well. We watched the closing moments of that matchup. That was a 3-1 victory, although they did struggle against Rogue. Credit where credit is due for Rogue. But sadly, credit isn't going to get you to the bracket, that's for sure. You need wins, and Enigma 6 and Cloud9 have both qualified for bracket play. The only question is, who will take the #1 seed from that group? We'll see that matchup later on today, and that #1 seed is very, very important to where you fall in the bracket.
That's our final match of the night, right? Cloud9 Enigma 6?
I think it might be. I think it might be.
That'll be a fun one.
So
I think that'll be us casting too. I'm excited for that.
Definitely is going to be a good one. For now, though, no games currently going on, so we can throw it to a quick commercial break. When we return, Day 2 continues. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2017 CWL Championship presented by PlayStation 4. It's the final day of Group Play, live from the Amway Center in Florida. Of course, we're in our studio suite. In a few days' time, or in tomorrow, actually, we go down there straight onto the middle of the court where it's being built behind us. And it's funny because, Jack, you mentioned it earlier on in the day. If you go take like a mini time lapse of the whole thing being built, you watch the start of yesterday to the start of today, for example. It's night and day. It really is starting to be a little fabulous. So we were doing the acoustic test yesterday, and it was very, very loud.
Well, so if people wonder maybe why we're not out there yet, if you've been watching, it is literally being crafted.
Yes.
And two, in my opinion, there are many teams here that do not deserve to play in the stadium.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Did you say 16 teams that don't deserve to play?
16 teams do not. 16 teams do.
16
I think that's what I think it actually makes it great. Like, maybe it doesn't have the feel of as much pressure in a way, but that alone, like, you want to play in the stadium as a player, and you know, knowing you're getting knocked out, you're not going to get to enjoy that fan atmosphere. I mean, it has to add something to it.
Definitely does, of course. Currently, there is 2 games going on in Group G. We have Ghost versus TK. Ghost lead that series 2-1, and I believe their hardpoint has just begun. You can watch that exclusively on the Bravo stream if you wish to hear commentary. We, however, are following the Splyce versus Millennium game, which may not be as close as that. Splyce currently lead 2-0 as Map 3 gets underway.
Does it end here, Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that too. We know Splyce maybe not the team they were for their best stretch of the year, but they have been consistently strong in Uplink. But let's see if Marquee B and Millennium can play spoilers to this hot 3-0 and stay alive in this group.
Yeah, they're looking for a wave of kills right here. Look at this pinch they're developing. Every lane being pushed by Millennium. Every lane being perfectly defended so far by Splyce. 3 kills in a row, nearly 4, as Marquee B's only able to take 1 with him to the grave as Splyce hold their base. Nicely done by them to not panic. They fall on back, they play their range with those NV4s, and they get the job done.
And Jerd, no hesitation, gets to a close corner, and those 2 kills are going to be the difference in his team having to kill through another wave or getting immediate points. Oh my god, what a play from Quicker from behind. Quicker actually kills the drone carrier, flanks through, kills both. That was almost a guaranteed 1-point play after Jerd picked up those kills if Quicker doesn't go massive in mid-map. An
example of a miscommunication. They need to know Quicker. We haven't spotted him. He could be anywhere. They just assume he's in his base somewhere, and that's not the case there.
Well, I mean, how many times when you get 3 down like that, the only call is forward, forward, go, 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 get drone and go. They just leave the drone carrier by himself. Like you said, they don't call out one guy, and that one is enough to hold them up. And there, that 1-point toss falls just a little bit short, Jack.
Alrighty, so you could have said not only could there have been points on that play from Splyce from the prior push before Quicker had the 2-piece from behind, that's also a potential rally right there for Splyce. So I would argue that they could have been up 3-0 right now in this map, and instead it's 0-0.
Yeah, Splyce have gift-wrapped a chance in this game 3, at least in the first half for Millennium. Not blowing it open early like we saw them do in the hard point. Still 0-0. 2 kills, though, going the way of Splyce, and that'll be mid-map control for them as they fly out. Mad Cat does get eyes on 1. Unfortunately, PD able to take out his teammate before Mad Cat can trade the kill.
Still with bodies here. Still with a presence in middle. 0 relying on that NV4 hipfire, realizes, what am I doing here? Decides to just ADS and pick up the kill. Moose again, a nice 2-piece in middle map. That'll let Millennium take this back through train and reset up for a bowling push. 2.5 minutes in. So far, it's still dead even, but all things considered, you think Splyce should be up in this game?
You should, absolutely. But I love the wrap they just did, because you saw Mad Cat's POV as he rotated up the top blue. They take it mid-track, they wrap around towards the bowling side of the map. The defense is not set up, and this is a dunk for Millennium. You know, we talked a lot yesterday about having the drone in hand, how that wrap can throw people out. I believe it was Proofy kind of breaking that down. I think that was a perfect example. You shift the defense, you quickly wrap back, They're not set up and ready for it.
So what we saw right there was Jerd was in a 1v4, and he played an off angle that they didn't actually expect him to be in. And instead of shooting at the first two people he sees, he waits for the drone carrier to land in front of him. And what he basically does is he gets the kill, suicides into the drone to try to pick it up and throw it out. But before he could get the drone released from his hands, his character was already dead. They basically team shot him with 3 of them, and he was just melted right off the map.
It's sort of unbelievable in the 3 minutes we've watched. So this is a 2-0 lead from Millennium. It doesn't feel like it should be through the first couple minutes of gameplay, but as it stands, it will be a Millennium lead. But Mad Cat has now gotten control of Lemon.
But this pinch is great from Jerd.
Yeah, they're so spread out right now. This pinch could work majestically, depending. I mean, I thought he was going to hit Barn. Are they ready for it? There's one inside. Can't snap.
Now they're just letting him wind up. Playing from this side of the map, they're going to push right with them. Zero should have a dunk. There it goes. 2-2. Splyce now on the board.
Now this scoreline makes more sense.
Yeah.
But no, that was Vance just completely dominating. And Mad Cat, I think, ends on a 5 streak. We'll have to check to see if he picked up any streaks. I don't believe he did. Can we check him real quick? No. Okay.
Now Vance the kill. Still pressure going forward. Zero is here playing this off angle. Lemon gets Vance one shot as well. Should have a follow-up here from Mad Cat in a moment. 45 seconds left, drone moving forward.
I do like a couple of the gunfights we've seen from Zero
Intercepted.
today. It just looks like the confidence is back. Like that's the second time I've seen him hit like a hard swipe and snap directly onto someone. We've been talking about his struggles.
With the result of this one, 2-2 with 30 seconds left, I do just want to interrupt you both because Station 2, of course, that's the other game. Ghost versus TK is unbelievably close. I want to jump into the action. This is basically TK's tournament life.
Yeah.
Assuming Splyce win this, we have to jump into this action because Ghost Gaming looked close to winning this one. It's what, 240 to 220. Going on to the final hill. Mook still has camo to do, and I think Ghost will win this. And this has a big effect now on how the rest of that group plays out, because assuming Splyce do beat Millennium, then guess what? You know your 2 teams coming out of that group, Ghost and of course Splyce. So now Millennium have to win. If Millennium lose, they are out of this tournament.
There's no more 3-way tie scenario with teams with 1 win, right? You have to take this series. Oh my God, this second half should be riveting. Can Millennium pull an impossible reverse sweep here?
This is their tournament hopes. Simple as that. We just saw Ghost Gaming get the better of TK there in game 4. That puts them at 2-0 in their group. TK down to 0-2. And this is it.
And that's, I mean, the fall of TK, like we saw. I mean, from being in pro leagues and finishing at the top to slowly sort of disappearing. Then they get that 9th through 12th finish at Champs last year.
Yep.
Now not even making it out of groups.
It's rough.
It is.
And that team,
feel for the guys.
That core 3 stuck together. Because, you know, Champs didn't go the way that they wanted to last year. They said, hey, let's stick together. Let's play through it. Let's really impress this time around, and they'll finish, you know, just as 4.
Well, back to the action at hand. Millennium Splyce. Still all tied up. Drone at mid-map. Mad Cat trying to control this entire bike path. He knows his teammate just died from behind. He tries to check it. I think he already hit across mid and picked up another one of his teammates. As Mad Cat soars, gets a kill, but Moose able to trade it out. And no one really able to get set up here at mid to make a play yet, Jack.
Nope. Jerd's trying to spot what he can with these tacticals. Now he will just continue to stay alive. Top ticket. Beautiful positioning from him. PD now dead. 3 alive at middle map. Quicker's been spotted. It's a green light now for the offensive for Splyce. They've got FTL jump as well. 2 more now dead.
Can he get it out?
Oh, but a great reset from PD.
That is such a good play. He was the only one up in a position to make a play on the drone. They toss it back over, but now everybody's dropped. That's the second time. For sure, you think it's going to be points for Splyce and somebody goes clutch. Remember, it was Quicker on the flank previously. This time it's a toss-out from PD with the drone. You know, it's been smart plays for Millennium that keeps them in this.
For the most part, Millennium have had 1 chance to score, and they've got 2 points. Splyce have had like 6 chances to score, and they've had 2 points.
Absolutely true, but here's another one. Can they shut it down? 1 away, look good to me. Barely sneaks on through. Lead to Splyce.
Vance stays alive for a moment. No, Moose is there to trade the kill. I thought Vance was going to get into the base and force Millennium to fall on back, give up map control. PD whirlwinds around that player. And look, Millennium, they're just trying to get this away from middle map, away from bike path where Mad Cat has been able to excel. Get it towards Barn and just change up how this map is played.
And a reminder to our audience, Millennium have to win this match or they will be eliminated from competing this weekend in the double elimination bracket.
Yeah, their highest placing would be potentially top 24 if they get 3rd in this group. top 32, obviously, if they finish dead last, which is still very much possible.
All right, well, Moose now trying to take this out to Courtyard, see if they can even up this game. He has a lead blocker. As I say that, his lead blocker dies. Moose with the deep one. It's up, away. Is the interception there? Yes, 2 players to pick that out of the sky. Zero and company. Stop it from going through.
Moose, he's on his way to that active camo. He's got 20, he's 20 and 15, so I think he should get it. He just needs to get it sooner rather than later. Simple as that when it's a 1-possession game. They've juked out this Millennium team. The pass is in, the dunk is there. Mad Cat now puts Splyce up 5-2.
In a low-scoring affair, you got to feel very good about a 3-point lead, especially when you and I talked about you've now had 2 chances for Millennium to score, and it's a 2-possession game,
and
there's under 2 to play. You can't feel very confident. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you've seen Zero hitting some shots that look like when Zero is in MVP form, because I know when we were watching him in Stage 2, it just looked like the confidence was not there. If it's back, man, Splyce is a contender almost immediately.
I think he'd say it himself, the confidence was not there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerd gets 2 one-shot with no kills to show.
Bance able to win an up-close and personal fight. Takes the second down as well. 1 more in front, but gets some awkward timing there as he hits across the backside of that fence. Now, just hardly over 1 minute to play. Millennium's tournament hopes on the line these final 60 seconds. Petey saves Quicker's life. Does he get his health back? He does. Pops the overdrive. This needs to be a dunk. Can he get it in? Soars on through. 4-5 game, and they're picking up kills inside. No one's back at mid-map, so not going to be able to rally this. But now at 50 seconds, you need at least 1 to push OT.
Still possible, but what I touch on with Moose, he's slowed down a little bit. When they needed him most, he's now only gotten 2 kills in the last 3 minutes. No active camo earned yet. Every kill Moose gets right now is huge for their chances. He just found 1. I think he's 1 more engagement off earning that payload, which could win them this game.
As PD tries to get into silo, he gets taken out. They pick off both players there in Courtyard, and now you're at the point where you can just sort of milk time. 3-piece from Zero behind the reactive armor. He keeps on cutting him down, makes 1 weak and finds the assist. Everyone from Millennium just trying to come off a spawn. Camo now popped from Splyce. They're running with it. I don't think you have enough time to even make a score based on where the drone's position is.
Yeah, GG.
That's
Splyce will take this 3-0. Millennium's tournament hopes are done. Comes down to the wire at the end, but it's just not enough, as camo was never earned by Moose.
Well then, there you go. Splyce with the 3-0, and that confirms the closing moments of that group, of course. That means Splyce and Ghost have both guaranteed qualification from their group.